it in this very awkward way for now. But now I know you're not seeing it. Okay, so I imagine that we are through and up and running. So, hello, everyone. This is Show and Tell. I am Billie, your bumbling host today. A little frazzled because I live in New York City, and pre-pandemic, I was doing walking tours for people who are New Yorkers, but who want to be tourists in their own town. And I have tried to resume that a little, and I've just come back from one of those walks. If you're ever interested in seeing Turtle Bay, I'm your gal, because that's where we were today. I showed a little bit of the UN and a couple of 1920s skyscrapers and the home of Katharine Hepburn and some interesting things. Anyway, I am back from that, and I am here with Courtney and Dawn, and I'm hoping that another person is going to join us. What you see on the screen is Jeannie. Now, Courtney over there, she's already finished her Jeannie. Dawn and I are struggling along a little bit. We're going to talk about it. But as you can see, it is a Fair Isle sleeveless garment. It's done with lace weight yarn on size 1 US needle or 2.25 if you're of that persuasion. And it involves 9 colors, although I know Dawn is using only 7. I shouldn't say only, 7 is still quite a few. And as you can see in the fine print up there in the right corner, 46 stitches in 4 inches. So some of us are a little challenged by that. And before we went live, Dawn was telling me about how she almost put this aside. In fact, before I let her talk, Jilly, who's been with us before, has put it aside. She has another project she's working on. So we miss her. I think she's looking in. Hi, Jilly. And I hope that when you have the time that you'll come back to this, because as you can see from Courtney's sweater, it's a really beautiful project that is from Susan Crawford's Vintage Shetland Project book. The details on how to purchase the pattern, either in the book or separately, are in the show notes below. Okay, Dawn, I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna be quiet now. And you can tell us what's up, like what's the issue right now for you?
Well, it was mostly because of things that happened this week. My washing machine broke down. I had a flood in the kitchen, and I had to attend to those things, and didn't really feel like knitting. So I'm not quite as far as ahead as I wanted to be. I wanted to be starting the Steeks this Zoom meeting, but I haven't got that far. I'm on row 112, and the Steeks start at 118. So I'm 6 rows fewer than I'd like to be at this point.
But that's like really good news for me. That's really good news for me because I'm a little bit maybe ahead of you. I think we're within a row or 2 of one another. I'm in not the center section, but the section just above it, the first row. And I dropped a whole bunch of stitches last night. I was lying down flat on my back, knitting up in the air, and like my needle sort of like, I don't know, got caught. And I dropped like 20 of those little stitches. So this morning before my walk, I was trying to pick them up and ladder down and make sure I had all the colors in the right sequence. So that was a little setback for me, but I think that we're about really now neck and neck. So I'm sorry that you're having like machine issues in your home and so forth, but it's good news for me. I mean, not flooding or whatever, but that you had that knitting setback, because now we're neck and neck, and that I'm happy with that. I'm happy because I think we'll spur one another on when we're closer. Like if you were just at the beginning and I was finishing up, it's not as much fun. So, okay. Anything else? It's hard.
Also, I think because now we're about halfway through, I would say almost halfway through. And it's at this point where you think, sometimes you have days where you think, I wish I'd never started. And but then there are other days when you think, well, let's keep going. You know, the end might be in sight soon. I'm definitely going to finish it. It's just that sometimes you have these feelings where you just want to put it down and not pick it up. But I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm going to keep going.
I haven't felt at all that I wasn't going to finish it. But yeah, I mean, you were saying before we started recording, when we were chatting, that you're finding it hard. What's hard? It's knitting. The stitches are tiny, but what's hard?
Well, it's not. No, it's not hard. It's the knitting is fine. It's because I haven't got any faster. I think I thought I would get faster with the Fair Isle, and I'm just it's a snail's pace. That's the only difficulty. I thought I would get better at it. Yeah, that's the only reason.
You don't feel that it is getting faster?
Not really, no. But I am going to keep going. Don't worry about that.
Oh no, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Courtney, was that your experience too? That it never got faster?
It does. I don't know if this is her first Fair Isle project, but I feel like Jeannie is a little daunting. I mean, especially if you're using the kit, because it is 12 stitches an inch. It's the silk and the merino. It's slippery. It unladders like so fast if you drop a stitch. But I think Fair Isle in general, you'll get faster at as you get better at it and just used to doing more of it. And I really think it gets faster once you get some of the stitches off for the steeks, for the armholes and for the neck, and then you're doing the neck decreasing. I felt like that was like my carrot. Like I just started going faster and faster because I was like losing stitches and I'm getting less. And I felt like that was really just encouraging and really helped. Like I literally didn't put the project down. I think after I started the neck decreasing, I felt like it was very hard for me to put down. And
that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to starting the steeks and the neck divide and the armhole divide, because you put some stitches onto some yarn, and the rows aren't quite as big then. So I am looking forward to that. I think,
and it's close. And it's a few hours away. Just think of it like that. I mean, as I finished one round, I'm like, okay, I'm a half an hour closer. And I know like that is in the next day or two, give or take, I will be taking some of those stitches off. So I think that's keeping me very motivated. I'm so glad that this was not top down, because I think the reverse would happen. I think I would be very like unmotivated. I think it would be like drudgery, like around and around, same old, same old. This, at least you really have something like smaller and shorter, faster to look forward to. I did want to ask Courtney, since we have the benefit of her being here, I am really concerned about the shape of the neckline. Mm-hmm. I'm doing the size 3, and I think that in her schematic, she's got maybe 15.5 inches or something. She's got more shoulder width than I have shoulders. Okay. So I know it's not a structured shoulder. I know it'll just fall down, but I do want to kind of keep it more in keeping with my shoulders, which are narrower than my hips. So I was thinking of maybe trying to do the number of stitches for one of the smaller sizes, and I can graph it out. But then I was afraid that it might throw off the shape with the decreases. I don't know. When I'm decreasing, oh good, Nancy figured out how to get here. Hi, Nancy. When I am starting to decrease for the neck, do you think I can decrease at a different rate as long as I keep within the pattern?
I think you can, but are you worried that, do you think that the armhole is going to be like, where, do you think your neck in general is going to be too large and you want to take extra material like from this side, or would it be easier to take extra material from the armhole?
I'm thinking that I want to maybe do both. I'm about 6.5 inches from one side of my neck to the other. I'm not a skinny person, but I don't think I have a large neck.
You're going to add the ribbing. The ribbing is going to close some of that gap.
Right, I understand that. But even with the ribbing, I want it to fall like at my neck. I don't want it to be like ribbing out here and then across. I want it to be like narrow in and then that trapezoid shape. So I really want like this kind of shape, and I want it to be narrow.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, maybe a little bit narrower in the outer shoulder as well. So like both. But I was just afraid if I took off stitches in both places that I might mess up the shape, the look, the style. I don't know. I know that I'm going to be gathering.
It'll change it. It'll definitely change the look.
But yeah, I don't want to change the look. So I better just stick with how it's written, and then I don't know, maybe make a little more ribbing.
You could do extra rows of ribbing.
Yeah, maybe.
So instead of like when the striping happens, you could do more more the light yellow before you actually start the striping pattern.
Maybe I'll do something like that. I might take a couple of stitches off here and a couple off here. I don't think that would be dramatic.
I think if you take off, you're going to be widening the neck. So you want to not take off as many if you want it closer to your neck.
I was just thinking of decreasing maybe at a different rate. Mm-hmm. Maybe I shouldn't have said taking off stitches, but
okay.
I'm not sure. Like if it's a straight line, I was trying to figure out like I could still get a straight line even if I'm not decreasing every other row. If I decreased every third row, it would just have a different slope to mm-hmm. that line. I might play around with that a little. I don't know. Well, okay. What else can we ask you while we still have you here? Nancy, how's it going for you? Where are you up to?
Fine.
Can you show us? Because we haven't seen since you started with the kit.
Well, it's almost far enough along I could get my husband to model it for me.
No. She must be some kind of fast knitter. Look at that. Whoa. I'm so excited.
I'm just about to start the fourth dark stripe. You know, I was listening to your problem. How would it be? I think I'm to a point that it's real close to the waistline. I'm wondering, you know, what you were talking about, the yellow stripes. Maybe if you pulled in 24 stitches on those, could you then jump down a size? Like it would narrow in 4.5 inches or whatever that the 24 stitches is. I guess I'm asking you, Courtney, since you've done it.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, if you want to get a smaller, like less fabric up here, I think that's a good idea. You could go down to the size 2.
Where are you on the sweater, Billie? What number? What row?
Oh, I should show you where I'm at. We were discussing that before you joined. Both Dawn and I can't believe it. I just dropped stitches again.
I hate when that happens. It's a nightmare.
Yes, it is. But
I've learned,
try and grab them real fast.
I've learned to pick them up and find them when they're gone.
I have too, except, well. Okay.
But seriously,
hope I got them all.
You wouldn't be disturbing the pattern at all if you could pull out those Yeah, see, you're a little higher.
I'm almost up to the armhole. I'm a few rows away.
I think it could still be done even that high up without much notice. I mean, 24 stitches isn't that much right there. But
no. But you can't because the pattern is continuous.
No, you don't really have a pattern in the little striping thing. If you pulled it out of that yellow and
that's true. I mean, I put this on graph paper so I could envision it a little better.
You could pull out 6 stitches on the top and 6 on the bottom and still.
You could, except these. I want these to all line up.
The center dark stripe is easily adjusted. I think even I could do that. But you could pull out 24 stitches on that row, on that stripe.
Yes,
and I'm like you.
You could, except wait a second. You could, except the next band where you have.
If you pulled out 24, wouldn't you be on the next size down? Just simply start with the next size down.
You would, but this, you'd have to make sure it lined up with that. You're going to be missing a whole one of these somewhere. So if you skew it a little bit, these are not all going to line up.
Can't you lose those extra stitches from where you're going to have the steeks?
Yeah.
Say again?
Can you lose those extra stitches to go in order to go to the size down? Can you lose those in the armholes and in the neckline?
I think you could. Yes, I think you could. And then you could work up keeping those motifs in a vertical line. I do believe that I could do that. And
I need to go down
make the slope a little different.
I need that too. I'm small in the shoulders like you, and it's already a little big. So either that or give it to my Amazon daughter-in-law. So I don't know what else to do.
So that's what's coming pretty soon for me, because this is where I am on the top motif. I have a couple more rows and then it's time to separate. Yay.
Yeah.
But boy, dropping those stitches, you want to pull your hair out of your head.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. But even if you started where I am at around the waist, I would think that if you're on the same row, and I've looked at those charts, I think you could still get by with it. I do. I think it would work. That's what I was thinking about doing on mine.
I'm pretty sure that that's where I'm heading. So we'll see.
I do have a little bit of a problem that I'm hoping is not really. I'm hoping I'm just a worrywart, but mine seems, I don't know if you can see it, but mine seems to be kind of gathered.
So
it's
kind of
like
out.
Almost shirred. And I wonder, will that pull out when I'm blocking? Will it not?
It will block. A lot of that will block out. And when even after you've blocked it, because I wet block just about everything. After you wet block, a lot of it will be gone. There will still be a little bit left, but when you actually wear the garment, you won't even see it at all.
Yeah. My next problem, I can't find any cute buttons. Weren't you going to send us weren't you going to find where you got those buttons and send us a note?
I sent it to Billie.
Okay. Billie, get busy.
Okay. Yes, you did. And I think I went there and I looked. And if I'm not mistaken, a while ago, Dawn, you also sent me your website. Was somebody sending me Canadian? Was that you, Courtney?
Yeah, it's a vintage buttons from Canada. And I think if you can't find the exact same size that that the pattern recommends, you could go up a couple of millimeters and still be okay.
I did look at this site. Yeah, I'm not sure why I didn't order them. Maybe they didn't have the color that I want. I sort of want pinkish, and they're maybe not
they're
mother
white.
of pearl.
Yeah, they're whitish, mother of pearl.
Are they mother of pearl?
I don't think so.
Yeah, see, I want mother of pearl.
And they don't seem to be plastic. And if I remember correctly, they have metal shanks.
Oh, well, maybe, for a small amount of money, maybe it's worth getting them. And if they're not good, just not using them. I've asked around a couple of vintage button people who I know. And then I don't know if any of you saw my interview with Matthew Brown, the Art Deco button collector. He lives in France, and he's like up the road from the factory that was the world center for mother of pearl button manufacturing. So I'm hoping to go to France and pick through his collection in his attic. And I don't know, but this brings me to an interesting topic. Nancy knows about it. Let me see if I can share my screen. And hi, Amaris. I see that you're there in the YouTube audience. Okay, let me share my screen because I have an exciting announcement. I've mentioned it a little on my podcast previously, but I want to make sure to mention it again. So just give me a second so I can get this up. Boom, one more second, and then I hope I'm able to do this. One more sec, I think I didn't do it right. There we go, okay. So tonight, in 4 hours from right now it's almost 4 p.m. in New York, 8 o'clock New York time this evening, Friday, September 17th, I will be launching this exciting new concept in yarn buying and selling. And there was one woman who asked if, in addition to her yarn, if she would be able to sell her vintage buttons. So I was pretty excited about that. I haven't confirmed yet that we're going to do that, but why not? I'm going to ask her. Anyway, for people who are watching, if you want to participate in this, I think it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be similar to what we're doing now. It's going to happen over Zoom. We're all going to be on together live. People will be showing their yarn, and I don't want to divulge everything because I want it to be exciting and a surprise for you when you get there. But the way to participate is to go to the link that you see on your screen right now, bit.ly/3BKPN70. I will also put it in the show notes, so it'll be a hot link because I think that's case sensitive. I'm pretty sure it's case sensitive. But that is the way to register for this event. And I'll leave it at that because I know we're not all here to talk about that. But anybody who is looking to buy yarn, this is going to be a really interesting new way of doing it and hopefully fun for everybody. So you saw that on your screen, right? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay, I can stop sharing then. That's easy to do. That I know how to do. Challenge with some of the other things. But anyway, so yes, I'm going to grill this one a little and see what kind of vintage buttons she has. And maybe there's something just exactly like what we need. But Dawn said, Courtney's done. Courtney, tell us about the sweater that you're wearing, because that looks like something that you might have knit.
It is. It's one of Susan Crawford's.
Is it? Do you know what it's called?
I think it's Summary. It's out of Vintage Volume 2, I think, but it's in my projects. So, but this is actually the first time I've ever worn it. So
it's lovely. It's lovely.
I did it in 2018 and I didn't like it. And I don't know why I didn't like it. And I decided I would try it on today and see if I liked it. And I like it better than what I remember. So.
Are you not a pink person?
No, I'm totally a pink person.
Okay,
maybe it's not the shade of pink. Like I have a lot of pink in my wardrobe. But I don't know. I don't remember what it was. So I'm wearing it today.
Can we see more of it? Like the bottom looks like it might be very interesting. It's very attractive. I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of her patterns. I haven't seen that one. I also like the scallop edge of the sleeve. Mm-hmm. Very pretty. Oh, it's lovely.
Oh, yeah. I bought that book you were talking about. I haven't had a lot of time yet, but it's wonderful. The history is just amazing.
Yes, it is. I mean, she has a lot of history in all of her books, which is really nice.
Well, if nobody else has anything in particular to share, Dawn, do you want to show? You need to leave, Courtney.
I think so, because I'm at clinic, so I have to go.
Thanks for jumping in, and stay tuned. We're going to have to meet again because clearly we're not done. So I hope you'll join us once or twice more. Hopefully just once.
Do you have any steeking, like the best, I think, steeking videos that are out there are on Alice Starmore's page. So that's it. When you get to that point, you should look that up, and because she has videos. So she shows you how to stitch on both sides to combine the stitches before you do the cutting.
Okay. I'll look for that. I'll try and put that in the show notes if I can find it.
Good luck.
Thank you, Courtney. Thanks so much for being here.
Bye.
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 Dawn, we haven't seen yours. Is it available for viewing?
Yes, I'm on row 112, so I've got 6 rows to go to get to the steek. So this is mine.
Oh yeah, it's lovely.
Isn't it interesting how they each look so different and yet alike? It's a real different look when you have all that light color.
And here it's up. That's close up.
It's wonderful. I love it.
I'll just show you my buttons. My buttons are from Etsy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those are great.
I will get the link that Courtney had sent me and put that out to you. And maybe to everybody in case anybody else is knitting this. But I'm pretty sure that I want something that's a natural and vintage material. So I'm going to keep looking. I feel like I still have weeks to go. I think this is 9 weeks already. Right? We started July 15th, and I did start a little bit before. So this is over 2 months. Anybody watching? From the ribbing to the underarm, more than 2 months. So if you want to knit something that's going to carry you for a long time, you're going on a long trip, you only want to take one project, this is the thing. I'm happy with it. As I've explained before, I don't want to have a lot of new sweaters because I'm running out of real estate. So if I only do 3 or 4 sweaters a year, that's a perfect solution for me. Otherwise, if I was doing something that was worsted, I'd be done in 3 weeks, a month, I don't know. I might have 12 sweaters. This way, I'm only going to have like 3 sweaters. So that's where I'm coming from right now. I'm happy in a way that it's taken a long time. I was knitting on it more in the beginning. I do find that I'm knitting shorter time. I mean, as things are easing up vis-a-vis the pandemic and I'm going out more and going on 5-mile walks, 2-mile walks, there's less time for knitting. But I think it's nice. It's always there. It's the only project I'm working on. It takes up so little space. And I'm only working with 2 colors at a time. So if I do want to take it with me, I can just take 2 cones and it's manageable. I don't have to take all 9 colors with me because there's no way. I mean, it's a couple of rounds with those 2 colors. That's a good hour of knitting, and sometimes it's more than 2 rounds in the same colors. So I'm very pleased that it's slow, and I'm motivated to finish it because I think it's going to be a beautiful garment. So no
Do you think
rush.
we're about halfway through? Do you think we're just over?
I think we're more than halfway through. That would have been a good question for Courtney because she would really know, but I would think that we're more than halfway through because I don't know how many rows there are in total, but I don't think it's, if we're at 117, I don't think it's 234. It's fewer inches from underarm to shoulder than it is from underarm to hip. So I think, you know, if we have this much more and we're not knitting all of this in here and all of this, like a, you know, chunk of stitches under each arm, like she said, it started going much, much faster. So I think that we're over the hump. I believe that we're more than 50%. I would say we might even be 65% of the way done. But the steeking part, you know, that's like a separate issue. I have no idea how long it's going to take to catch all those stitches and do the cutting and then securing it. I guess you have to fold it back and stitch it up. I mean, that's extra time that I'm not even including because that's non-knitting time. That's like another adventure.
Have you decided how you're going to reinforce the steeks? I was thinking I'd either do backstitch or a line of crochet. I don't know which to do yet. I think I won't decide until I get there. But I've got a crochet.
That's another question for her because I don't think she did either of those, right? She picked up each stitch. I'm going to look at her pictures again, and I'm going to look at these Alice Starmore, if I can find the videos that she's talking about. I think there's a number of different ways, but my feeling is because these stitches are so tiny, I think I personally want to go into every single stitch with my needle and embroidery floss or thread or whatever and make sure. Because even if I use my grandmother's 1950s sewing machine, I'm not sure, even on the smallest stitches, I'm not sure if it would get that row. I'm also thinking that I might want to block it a little bit to try and get my stitches to line up. Let me show you up close. My stitches are not really like very aligned. I don't know if that's focusing.
Well, what do you mean not aligned?
Well, I don't always think they're in like a perfectly vertical line. Some stitches are smaller, some stitches are.
See, that's why I think we could pull out 24 stitches on one of those lighter rows and nobody would know the difference.
Oh yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just saying in terms of preparing it for the steek, I think I want to try and get each row of stitches to be more uniform. Like some are a little narrow, some a little wider. I want to get them uniform if I can through blocking, which I think they will, so that when I stitch, it's in a straight column, not like, you know, maybe the machine would stitch a little from column A and a little from column B, and that's going to be useless.
I'm wondering if you'd have enough room in the steek area to do a double stitch, to stitch possibly, say, on your 50s machine, and then go back and do a hand stitch to catch each stitch to keep it from raveling past your machine. I'm concerned that it's going to ravel out after you steek it, the securing stitch. I'm concerned it'll run into the garment. I've never sticked before either, and I know that once I read the instructions more, I won't be so concerned, but I'm afraid, you know, it'll ravel out.
I think we all have that fear. So we're all going to be super, super careful. And, we're human. We're going to do the best we can.
It's been done. I mentioned to you earlier, Zimmerman is real big on steeking, and you know, she would steek like if she was knitting a cardigan, and she'd knit it in the round like this, and then cut it right down the middle for the center. And you know, it's been done for years and years and years.
Yes, I bet you she wasn't using silk. I'm not using silk either, but she was probably using a heavier gauge yarn and something sticky, something that was going to grab. If you're using Shetland wool, home run, piece of cake, no problem.
Yeah.
But like I'm not, and the kit is not, and it could run real easily. You know, I think one run is probably not even going to be noticeable if it were to happen.
That's what I was thinking. I almost missed one the other day. Oh yeah, I didn't even see one of them, and I don't know how I dropped it. I dropped it and didn't know. But I've been keeping, you know, I've been keeping count every 24 stitches, and you can tell instantly on this pattern if you've dropped one. But I missed it. I missed it.
Yes, if you're using stitch markers like this.
Yeah. But see, that much would make a huge difference that you're holding up in the sizing. And I don't know if each size is just one 24 stitch deal.
You know, without giving away Susan Crawford's pattern, I did look at that. I looked at the different sizes, and I did chart out the size smaller than mine compared to my size. And I feel that I could work it out. I feel that I could figure it out. I think it's not going to be easy. And I'm afraid of contorting the neckline. Like when you look online in Ravelry at the other people who have knit this sweater, they don't all have the same neckline. And if you look at the original before Susan Crawford, the Jeannie Jarmson,
right,
original woman who designed it, her neckline is nothing like Susan Crawford's neckline.
Right.
Her neckline comes down, and it's like a corner, and it's straight across, and it's really in. And I remember Courtney saying last time that she knit a child size. So I thought, well, maybe I need to knit a child size in this area.
Right.
Because I might not be a lot bigger than a big child in here, not anywhere else.
Well, the thing is, if you start altering a dress, the slit in just sewing clothes, garment construction, you got to have the right size starting out on your arm and your shoulder, that your problem area there, or you'll never be able to alter it. It's just almost impossible. That shoulder is real important. The size, you know, that's important. So that's why
because it's what people see, and you can see right here that this garment that I'm wearing, which I love, it's very beautiful. This is not where my shoulder is, and it bothers me, but it's such a beautiful thing that I don't know if you could see. It's really pretty thing. I would like to have that be up here. And on my sweaters, I would like to have my shoulder be, since I'm making it custom for my body, I should be able to get a shoulder of a sweater to be where my shoulder falls. So I have extra fabric in here.
Yeah, I have the same problem. And a lot of times I'll take a sweater like you're wearing, and I'll take, as you're pinching in the back, and make an extra seam in it to keep it, you know, to pull it up to where it should be.
If you can do that, and if you have enough room in the back, and to go like this. So it's a balancing act. And it depends on the garment. Like this garment, it would be easy to do that if I was a little bit handy. But if you have a collar, or you have, you know, something else going on in the back, this has a little bit of, I don't know what you call it, like an edging going around. So it's not thick, but it would show. I mean, it really would show. Maybe darts somewhere below that could pull it in.
Darts could do it.
But anyway, this is manufactured. This I'm hand making, and I should be able to get it fitting in here.
Tell me, when you check the difference in the sizes, do you remember if it's 24 stitches in between sizes, or is it 48? I think it's 48.
I think that I know, but I think, as I said, I think it's just not fair to Susan Crawford to divulge too much about her pattern, because
I think
people can figure out how to do it without her pattern,
I started a small, and then I took one size down. So I remember I subtracted 48 to make one size smaller. And then I got to thinking I didn't know what I was doing. But I think it's 48. And I think I'm even going to be brave enough to do 2 of my yellow stripes coming up. I'm going to lower them 24 stitches a piece. I'm going to try it.
Well, I tinkered with the ribbing at the bottom. I didn't do the ribbing for my size. I think I did more stitches in the ribbing because I'm big in the hip. And now I think it may be too long, so I may actually turn some of the ribbing under. I think it's too much ribbing for where it's going to hit me, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The jury's still out.
Yep. So I get the feeling you're not
sorry, go ahead.
I get the feeling you're not as tall as me nearly. What are you, like 5'1" or 2"?
I'm 5'1".
Yeah.
Exactly. At least last time I was measured, I don't know.
Well,
I try and stretch and.
Yeah, I'm probably going to shrink up to your size, but I started out as like 5'4" and something. I'm down to like 5'3" now. I've lost from osteoporosis, but yeah.
It's an issue for us gals. I take my calcium twice a day when I'm good.
Me too.
I can take it today. Let's talk about next time, because I don't have that scheduled yet. Another 3 weeks, or should we go 4 weeks? What should we do? Nancy, we lost you.
Oh, I had it in my hand back there. I'm sorry. I was pulling up the calendar, so I was going to write it down, whatever you said.
Okay. What do we think? Or should we talk offline?
I'm fine with anything, really. We're both retired, so I can work around whatever we're doing.
Yeah, I'm fine with anything. 3 or 4 weeks. It's entirely up to you, Billie.
Well, maybe we should stick to 3, because none of us will be done in 3 weeks. We might not be done in 4, but at the 3-week mark, maybe we need some more hand holding, because I think 3 weeks from now, we'll be getting close to maybe finishing the knitting part, or we might even be finished. You know what? Let's say 3 weeks, and be in touch with me. If you think that you can meet sooner because you're done knitting and you're ready to steek and you want the moral support so we can all do it together, then I'll move it up. But for now, I'll try and find, I guess, 3 weeks from today, unless I have an issue with that, and I'll reach out to you privately. Okay, well, thank you for being here. Nancy, am I going to see you tonight?
Yes, I've actually I'm such a hoarder. I pulled out one yarn, but I keep thinking, oh, this is so pretty. Do I really want to sell it? But I thought I'd try.
Okay. I'm really excited. I'm looking forward. And I hope some people are watching this and getting their clock set for now. It's like 3.5 hours from now.
Yeah.
Come prepared to buy some great yarn at some good prices. If you're not in the United States, you are welcome to peek in and see what we're doing, see what we're about. Right now, the program is only going to happen in the United States simply because of the shipping conundrum. But as
Billie,
I have said...
Billie, is it on... sorry, will it be on YouTube? Live?
No, this is just going to be over Zoom. I'm not recording it. I'm not broadcasting it. This is going to be like a sort of a private party for as many people as we can find. But I have promised, if it's successful, which I hope it will be, that I would go worldwide in due course. I want to get it running smoothly in the United States, work out all the kinks, if there are any, in terms of, payments and shipping and how the whole thing is going to work. But my long-term goal would be to bring it to Europe, to bring it to Australia, to bring it everywhere where people are buying yarn. I mean, Africa and Asia and I don't know, in the Antarctic. They're probably not shipping anything there. But, you know, I want everybody to have access to it because I think it's going to be a wonderful program. But to begin with, I want to try and keep it simple until it's smooth flowing. But, well, you'll be asleep. It'll be after midnight. That's part of why I did it 8 p.m. New York time, because I thought the people in other parts of the world, it's not going to be a convenient time for them. No. I didn't want them to come and be disappointed that they can't shop, because I know how people are when they're shopping for yarn. It's like, oh, gotta have it. So, but it's coming to a station near you as soon as I can make it successful here. So if you have friends in the United States and maybe even Canada, I think shipping to Canada from the US isn't so bad. But if you have friends on this side of the ocean, please give them that bit.ly link and tell them to register. There's still a few hours left. The more people we have, the better it's going to be. And it's really all about word of mouth, you know, one person sharing it with a few other people. And before you know it, it will go viral in a good sense. Like, you hate to use that word anymore, but that's the goal. That's the idea. That's the concept. So thanks for being here. See you in 3 weeks, unless we decide otherwise, and stay with it. We're all going to cross that finish line. Going to hold one another's hands and make sure we get over the finish line. All right. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye-bye. Let's see here.